Marc Jacobs is coming under fire this week for allegedly stealing a smaller creator's marketing idea and then paying a larger creator to recreate them for their brand. People are now demanding that Marc Jacobs pays the smaller creator for their work, especially after how many views this idea has awarded them. It's a mess, so let's get into it. On TikTok, you've probably come across those accounts like GirlBossTown where they're constantly pitching marketing ideas for popular brands in hopes that the brands like them and maybe consider hiring them for their ideas.
Here's how I creative direct a commercial for Converse using the song Stand By Me.
These creators have had a lot of success sharing their ideas online, but it doesn't always work out. Some brands take advantage of these quote-unquote free ideas and fully copy them. That's what happened to a creator named Mary Corlin Downs. Mary has just over 21,000 TikTok followers, and she posts a lot of creative videos in the fashion category. Back in December, her work caught Marc Jacobs' attention, and they asked her to do a collab with them. The deal was they would send her a bag, and she would creative direct a piece of content for them. She ended up posting this really cute video showing her baking and putting a cherry into the oven, and then the cherry turning into the cherry Marc Jacobs tote bag. Now, this video never really got the attention it deserved, but since it was a gifted exchange, it's safe to assume Marc Jacobs most likely saw the video. Well, imagine Mary's surprise when she sees Marc Jacobs' new ad campaign with Nara Smith and realizes it was completely ripped off from her idea. A few days ago, the Marc Jacobs TikTok page uploaded a video showing Nara Smith baking a Marc Jacobs tote bag. It's a really cute video. She rolls out all the ingredients. It very much fits in with the type of content that she usually makes.
I've been craving a delicious red Marc Jacobs tote bag since I woke up. So instead of going to the store to buy one, I thought I would make it myself. Started by mixing my flour, eggs, and water to make the dough, all in one bowl so there weren't too many dishes. Added red food dye to my dough to give it a rich, true red color. I started kneading the dough with my hands to make sure it was silky smooth. I grabbed a rolling pin to roll out the dough and started to cut out the pieces of my toast. I popped it in the oven and baked it for about an hour. When I went to the oven to check on my toast, it was perfectly risen and red, so I took it out to cool. It tasted so much better than a shop-bought tote bag. This one really hits the spot.
Nara's entire platform is her making everything from scratch, so the campaign was definitely fitting for her, but then people started putting two and two together and realized it wasn't an original idea.
Nara Smith, huge creator on here, just looked 8.7 million followers. Like, that is just staggering, isn't it? It's just posted an advert with Marc Jacobs, and the concept she has taken from a smaller creator who basically set up a TikTok page. She has 20,000 followers and did creative ideas for brands to use in ads. Marc Jacobs have then taken this idea and got Nara Smith to use it. Now, let's be honest, the fault lays here, I think, is with Marc Jacobs.
Okay, Nara, here's the thing, right? Because I just feel like it would be best if any brand brings you any type of idea, you just say, has this been done before? And if it has the creator been made aware? That's it. That's all. That's literally all you have to do.
And people were commenting on Mary's video being like, did you creative direct the ad for Marc Jacobs? Did they pay you for your idea? Like, what is going on? Well, it turns out she wasn't paid for her idea. She stitched the Nara Smith video and said, damn, sucks when creators stop being creative. And now that Marc Jacobs video is sitting at over 11 million views. Can you imagine what kind of exposure that could do for a smaller creator trying to get their name out there? I mean, the comments are absolutely filled with different brands and all these influencers praising Marc Jacobs' marketing team for the idea, and Marc Jacobs was actually liking these comments. They liked one that said, now this is marketing. And someone replied and said, thanks to @MaryDowns. Someone else said, the social media plus PR team over at Marc Jacobs needs to come to the front. This is perfection. And Mary actually commented under this comment and said, I actually made this video for Marc Jacobs back in December for a gift collab. I guess it's better to pay the big bucks to creators for unoriginal videos than it is to pay small creative creators. And as the situation started to blow up with more and more people talking about it and giving their opinions on whether or not it was a direct copy, Mary made a follow-up video to explain what happened. She said that she was reached out to by Marc Jacobs back in December, and they offered to send her a bag in exchange for a video.
I'm pretty disappointed in Marc Jacobs though, because I was sent this bag to make this. I made this as a gifting collab.
And she thinks her original video that she did for Marc Jacobs wasn't the only video of hers that was copied. She actually posted a video for Levi's as well, and it was pretty much the exact same concept of baking clothes and rolling out fabric and putting it in the oven.
There's actually 2 videos that I feel like she took from me and made it to be one video for Marc Jacobs. The video that a lot of my friends are referring to when they're tagging me is this video that I made back in December. There's lots of similarities, but you're right, it's not the same across the board. The reason why I'm kind of upset is because it's literally half of this video and then the last half of the last video, which is Nara's video. And Nara was tagged in this video, so I know she's probably seen it, and I know Marc Jacobs has probably seen the last video. So I'm kind of upset that they let that one slide.
She did recognize that it's kind of impossible for one person to own a whole concept and acknowledge that in her field everyone takes inspiration from something, but she still thinks her video and Nara's video are a little too similar.
I did this concept back in December, which I did. I never think one person owns an idea or owns a concept. We are all in this creative field and we all take different versions of this concept and make it our own. However, I do feel like it wasn't made her own. Like I said before, I am in the creative field. Like this is what I do. I know people don't own this concept. I know Nara makes cooking videos and she's also into fashion, so it's not a stretch.
Overall, she's just upset to see all the praise that Marc Jacobs' marketing team is receiving for the concept when they weren't even the ones to come up with it.
In the end, I think the biggest thing that makes me sad and disappointed is that there's so many people in the comments saying that like Marc Jacobs' marketing team is a creative genius or Nara is a creative genius. Reading those comments make me really happy because deep down I'm like, oh, it's almost like they're talking about me.
And even though Mary was getting a lot of support from people who also thought it was a direct copy, there were some people who felt like it was too basic of an idea to claim ownership over. One person wrote, "This is a super simple concept that I can see how the creative team came up with it when they booked Nara. And I definitely don't think it was Nara who came up with the idea. I think Marc Jacobs knew what they were doing. They got this great idea from someone that they only gifted a bag to. Then they took the idea and paid a bigger creator to recreate the idea and get the views they were looking for." Someone in the comments pointed this out too and said, "I think it's crazier that Marc Jacobs sent you the bag as part of a gifted collab and then Nara Smith got paid for it because the team knows you made the OG video even if it fits her brand." And Mary said this. So should Mary have got paid for her work or at the very least got some credit? Of course. But it also makes me wonder if she signed some kind of like contract and within that contract there was some kind of clause allowing them to use the content however they like. I know Nara Smith has been called out a lot recently for stealing ideas from different creators over on TikTok, but this feels more like a campaign that Marc Jacobs actually put together for her. The comments are also starting to turn under the Nara Smith ad. At first, everyone was praising them for how creative their idea was, but now they're switching and people are calling on them to make the situation right with Mary. One person said, "The marketing team needs to be fired for taking this idea from another creator. It's almost the same video. Wow." I think what makes it worse is the fact that Marc Jacobs worked with her first. They didn't pay her with actual money, they liked her idea, then instead of hiring her as a creative director, they just used her idea on a bigger creator. The whole situation just seems like a mess, but on the bright side, Mary has been getting a lot of engagement on her social media from this drama. Her Marc Jacobs video went from under 1,000 views to over 200,000 in one day. But still, I'm sure she'd rather have gotten paid or credited for her work and actually built a relationship with the brand instead of dealing with all this drama. Anyways guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. Do you think Marc Jacobs and Nara Smith copied her concept, or do you think it's not original enough of an idea to claim ownership over? Let me know, and I'll see you next time.